What's up, folks? Welcome back to the Barebow Project. This episode is just a coffee talk. Just talking about pushing the aim, extending the aim, working on arrow to arrow, making that aim longer in the middle. It's a short discussion, but it's a good one. I think everybody should hear it. Remember, normally I don't do, crazy intro stuff, but hey, part of the U.S. Open and the supporters of the U.S. Open, I am now doing that for the people who provided the prize money, and you have to recognize them. So, as always, special thanks to Jager Archery Products, Yost Archery Products, and Ethics Archery, all sponsors of the podcast, all ponied up extra money. First Flight Archery, John and Leslie Winker, ProLine Archery, BowDoc Archery, the bow band, Neil Frana, and his pretty cool little finger sling. I love it. Throwing his hat in the ring. And of course, Peter Nugent from First Bite Pediatric Dentistry, Larry Wise, and Santo Armano. All contributors to your prize money for the U.S. Open. Let's show some appreciation. All of their links and information are going to be in the podcast links, details, so check them out. Go like their page. That's my dog sneaking in. What are you doing? All right, enjoy the podcast.
I think than anybody I can put a name to promote our sport.
The archer who owns all the world records, John Demmer III.
You know, the more difficult a thing is, the more important the mental game becomes.
I didn't eat any supper yet either. How about you guys? Did you guys eat yet?
I didn't eat
I got some crunch berries.
Oh, yeah.
Grayson Parlow.
It's like me taking 3 or 4 years off your eyes just because I weakened that prescription in the shooting eye.
And don't put everything into my shot that I should, that I get a lot of drop on those heavy arrows. It's dropping all the way down. He said, well, you might want to think about going to a lighter arrow in the string walking. And then that's what got that started. So,
Good morning, Barebow Project. Hey, John. I just saw your post. I had to laugh a little bit because I started shooting 18 meters yesterday. Still have a 25 meter outdoor that I might shoot. And I might shoot the Palmyra 50 meter as well. I'm not sure. Coming up. I don't know. Or I might just worry about hunting and completely forgo and just keep working on indoor. I don't know. Hey, Santo Armano, one of our U.S. Open sponsors. Klaus, as always. Hey, Dan McCullough, are you still in Wildwood, my guy? I was just there yesterday. I came home. Just figured out I'm in the, as my wife calls it, my man cave. It's a little messy. That's actually a lot messy because I moved my whole archery shop here, so got everything is just piled everywhere, and I'm slowly organizing and building a viable workspace. I'm still doing archery shop work. I have actually like 2 sets of strings to install and for some compound friends. But I'm debating on what to do for hunting season right now because part of me is interested in going back to actually right here. This bad boy right here. This is a Browning Maxim old round wheel set up to shoot barebow. Yost tab. I've been playing around with it. Fixed crawl. Good old fashioned 2216 aluminum, Easton aluminum, super light 2216s. This thing is pretty badass. Good old fashioned Springer rest there. See that? I may hunt with that. I don't know. There's a part of me that still wants to kill an animal with that thing because it was my dad's bow, my dad's last hunting bow before he died. So I don't know. I'm on the fence. Haven't decided yet. I have a pretty good feeling I'm gonna stick with that unless I decide to. I know, right, Elton? Unless I decide to get a Hoyt compound. I was thinking about getting an RX-7 compound and hunting with a compound. I don't know. Black Widow's hanging up here. That thing shoots good all the time, so I don't even want to touch it. But what'd you say? I'm not shooting until completely healed up. Yeah, I get it, Dennis. If I missed any comment. There, I flipped the camera. Didn't even intend on it. That's a picture of. Here, actually, I will flip that back around. See that right there? That is Frank, circa. Right there. That's Frank with hair. That's what that is. Some of my buddies from the firehouse in front of our old pumper. But yeah, geez, that picture's probably 2001. Probably 2001, 2002, somewhere in there. Let me see if I missed any comments. Yeah, still. That's all. I did it again. I don't know why. Yeah, Dan. I stayed. We were on West 9th Street in an Airbnb, dude. It was great. Yeah, Elton. I laugh every time I see that. Yeah, that's absolutely an old bow. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like Browning. So I understand that we're a recurve, right? But Browning made. I have like 4 of these bows. I have the Maxim round wheel was a great hunting bow. Again, this is a longer axle, but you know, I never shot Barebow compound, and the whole NFAA experience this year, like I was like, I'm watching these guys shoot pretty damn well with these old compounds, you know, 40, 38 inch axle, you know, and I had put a new string on this like 10 years ago, and then I bought an Elite and got back into competition archery, shooting an E35, got back into, you know, whatever, and then I never really put this thing to the test, and you know, I ended up not using this for hunting because I hit a decent buck with it, and I had a poor setup, and I hit a little forward in the shoulder, and then I put it away and never hunted with it again. Then I bought the E35. I was shooting, you know, a relatively light arrow with an expandable broadhead. It was a poor setup. Now that I know more about setups and understand them a little bit better, realizing, you know, fixed blade is the way to go. You know, I'm not afraid to use that now because that's got more punch than the Black Widow does, and the Black Widow was a complete pass-through at 30 yards last year. So, you know, so just for nostalgia purposes, I think I'm going to hunt with that. I will talk to Hoyt. They sent me my target compound last year. Blessed to be supported by them. I may get an RX-7 and hunt with that a little bit this year. There's something fun about shooting, you know, whitetails at 40, 50, 60 yards. Not gonna lie. But anyway, yeah, this is my man space. It's a complete mess, as you can see, and I knew that going live, but you know, slowly I just got, you know, we were at Nationals, and then I was at ETAR, the Nationals, and you know, just got back from vacation in Wildwood, and I start work tomorrow, back to the school year tomorrow, although I do love my job, not gonna lie. So I'm gonna be spending a lot of time out here, and I'm just organizing and fixing up and stuff. This was an old shoe shop before we bought this property. There was a shoe repairman here. I actually still have his wood stove in here. But it's, you know, it's seen better days, but I'm making it my space. So, but anyways, yeah, Dick Tone. It's not the bow, it's the connection between the bow and the ground. You're not wrong there, my friend. You're not wrong there at all. So, But I just figured, I want to get some work done, and I know I'm going to talk, and I'm not going to get any work done while I'm on this live feed. That's fine. You know how coffee talk works. If you are drinking coffee, put the coffee emoji in comments. I shot yesterday, so I've kind of made, for those of you who don't know, my indoor range is closed. I'm just running my archery shop now. Just the surviving COVID and realizing I could put so many more efforts into the online coaching program and just the Barebow project in general. And now I'm coaching, I don't have to, there's no fees or anything. People, the kids on my archery team are completely coached for free. So I'm pretty excited about just having less responsibility to having to be committed to 6-7 days at a facility. I can do more, spend more time with my family, stuff like that. And, I get to have my own space now, which is kind of cool. But I also get to shoot more. And that's something that I've really struggled with really since the podcast started. Like, before we started the podcast, I shot a ton. And my scores showed it. And, in a year's time, I went from no experience to, really, really decent indoor scores. In the last 3 years, I've really struggled with that. And part of the reason is just like the overwhelming amount of responsibility doing other things. The Barebow project is sort of one of those responsibilities, but at the same time, it's one of those burdens that I will never give up, because we are seeing too much positive change. So, with that being said, it's still able to do that stuff, but I can still shoot. So yesterday we have practices on Tuesdays. Well, soon it's going to be Tuesdays, Thursdays. I said Tuesday, Friday. And I went over and shot. And I was like, man, do I want to shoot 50 meters? Or do I want to play around with getting an 18-meter tune? Because I don't intend on not shooting during hunting season. Sorry, Den, we're not breaking up. I still love you. And so, long story short, I'm going to keep shooting right through the fall, and really focus on pushing the aim. And I was thinking about it yesterday. I shot like back-to-back 265s yesterday with my micro SDs. I am making a change. I am sticking with the micro SDs, at least at this time. I might try the Super Drive 19s for indoor. I don't know yet. I might. I don't know. But as of right now, I think I'm going to stick with the micro SDs for indoor, and I'm going to try to focus on pushing the aim. And that's, I was trying to come up with a term with it yesterday, because I was talking about it, and, I was kind of just rehashing outdoor nationals a little bit, and I shot like lights out during mixed team. With the exception of a few ends that weren't great, but I shot really well. And ironically, I shot really, really well against Demmer and his partner. But I was shooting complete drive-bys because of time. Like, I wanted to give Maggie as much time as possible on the clock, so I was just getting up there, boom, to the middle, gone. And and I was kind of thinking about like how I shot really early on when I first started Barebow, and I didn't aim well. I would, establish a good anchor, push that point to the middle. I was a lollipop shooter, but I would push that in, and I would just hold it and just slowly work that thing up until that point where it got to 6 o'clock in the goal, and then boom, and I would explode out of that shot. And it worked. I mean, there's no question it can work. It can work well. It doesn't work well at a highly consistent level when you're shooting competitively, and I hate using the word pressure, but in like moments of high personal value. so head to heads, stuff like that. And I really, really want, like, I'm a really good aimer with a recurve and a compound. Like, I can aim for days. I never, ever get target panic. And this year, like, one of my commitments is to learn to push the aim longer into the shot. And I guess that's why I called it pushing the aim, because, in order to push the aim, and I'm using that as a term to say that that's putting it in the middle and leaving it in the middle and letting it settle. I haven't been great with that with Barebow, and that's a primary thing that I'm going to work on for the fall and going into indoor season, to see if I can get back to those like consistent 530, 540 indoor scores, or better. Who knows? I think that commitment to pushing the aim is a key component to being calm under the aim. And it's just like, that's the thing I'm going to be committed to. Not committed to shooting tens, not committed to worrying about score, not committed to anything else. That's just going to be a conscious effort on every arrow. And, but, how do you practice that? And you guys know I've pushed hard on like draw holds and stuff like that. And draw holds, just by nature, draw holds are strengthening. They're giving you confidence. They're slowly molding you into, it is okay to get to the middle. And I think draw holds are less important for someone who has a really good hold versus somebody who has really bad target panic. And like, if you can't get the point of the arrow to the middle, that's where a draw hold really comes into play. It's that it's allowing yourself, it is okay to put it in the middle and leave it there. The disconnect that I have found with the shooters that I have worked with and the people that have done them is that people don't know how to flip the switch from allowing that aim to happen to the subconscious and letting the release. I think that's where, like, in some cases, a static release actually has its benefit, because you're just middle, go. And I think John has said that in some cases, depending on like if his hold's not great, where a static release can actually be beneficial, and you'll see that change every once in a while in the shot. And I was playing with that yesterday. I was playing with anchors, I was playing with crawls. I went back to I went back, this is the original Yost stretch band and locking, whatever they're called. I'm playing around with, because I like extra support there, I went to back to a single, but I'm using the thicker band, the thicker stretch band, to have a little bit more stability in that tab. That completely changed the dynamic of my release, going back to a single band on just the middle finger. So I'm not saying I'm committed to that. I love my 3-finger. The only reason I've gone away from the 3-finger is because, like, I'm doing live feeds and doing all, like, it's just a pain in the butt taking on and off. That's the only reason I switched back. I think the Yost tab is perfect just the way it is, with the single stretch band, and you will be 100% good that way. I think that there's benefit to the 3-band, especially for 50 meters, because it just doesn't allow that tab to jockey this way at all. But everybody has their, you just have to play around with it. But yesterday I was really, really working hard on, I noticed my groups went dead center to 1 o'clock, 8, 9. And I don't know if it was me not being used to the tab, or if I'm not paying enough attention to where the point of the arrow is when I'm pushing the aim. And again, for those of you who are just joining in, like the idea of pushing the aim is pushing the aim longer into the shot and then making sure that after the aim, and this is a homage to Dick Tone, it's making sure that the synchronization of the finish of the shot is back, whatever your release is, and then forward toward the target, so that that expansion is finished. That doesn't allow a collapse. It's a natural finish to the shot. It's something that over the last couple of years, after taking Dick Tone's seminar and just like applying, because there's no question that what he teaches works, just applying that, you know, it's less dynamic than an Olympic finish, but it's still, you know, a conservative follow through. That's the only way I can explain it. You know, and I think that's gonna be my go-to thing to work on going into indoor season. I'm gonna work on it all the way through hunting season. I can shoot it in my yard, shoot at the club. We have a private range that we can shoot in for this winter, but you know, and I want to shoot more. And for those of you who have access to a range close by and have the ability to shoot 3-4 days a week, like, you have no idea how fortunate you are. I am envious of that. Now that I don't have my own personal range to shoot in all of the time, but again, like, I always, being there was tough because I had to do stuff while I was there, and now I don't have that responsibility, so I'm pretty happy about that. But anyways, so pushing the aim, pushing it further into the shot, not allowing drive-bys to happen, not worrying about getting stuck. I got a group message coming by, and I want to read it, but I can't. John Demmer. But yeah, and I think that the commitment to that calm aim, I have noticed, is such a comfort when you're shooting shoot-offs, like, because that's all I'm worried about. That's all I want to worry about. And if you think about it, like, and if you guys, I uploaded a podcast, and it was the replay of the live feed. Like, I don't want to take away from Chris Garcia and Marcus Cooley. They put on a wonderful gold medal match. Again, guys, job well done in the U.S. Open. And Chris will probably end up coming on the podcast. I might have both of them on together if we can coordinate it. But, like, you sit there, if you watch, and again, it was a rough live feed, just recorded with, earbuds. But, like, the ability and that commitment to the aim, like, John put that on full display for everyone during that bronze medal match. I don't know. Those are probably some of the best ends of arrows I have seen him shoot ever. Even better than what he did at Lancaster. And, you know, but there was some external motivation going on. And, you know, it's just that commitment. It's not that hard to be that committed. You just have to, you have to be committed to it all of the time. You can't just be committed to it in a moment of adrenaline. You have to be committed all the time. That's the hard part, is staying disciplined enough to be that committed. And that's really what I want to work on this year. I want to get back to shooting where I was, now that I have no excuses. I don't have any, you know, I don't have all these extra hours I'm putting in. That's the goal. We'll see if I can do that. So about halfway through my cup of coffee here. So, you know, you guys know how coffee talks go. I flipped it around again. Every time I swipe up to look at comments, it flops the screen around. You guys have any questions? Well, that might really, I did it again. See that? Look at that. That's so annoying. You guys have any questions? Any comments? So I'm glad to hear that you're working on that. That's good stuff. Let me know. Throw them up. You have a half a cup of coffee here to post up your questions or comments, or I'd love to know what you think of all the pictures. Josh Miller, the drive-by gang, currently working on mine too. Yeah, Josh, same. Yeah, I mean, 3D targets I can aim all day. That's super easy. Because there's no thing. So a couple of questions I'm gonna try to keep up. Man, when's the last time you used those fishing waders? Those waders are actually my son's, and he used those probably back in May. Those are my son's waders, which means they would fit you, Elton. Yes, David, Yost has a 3-finger band option for the tab. I want to go back to, I'm going to try to scroll up in these comments. Hopefully it doesn't flop the screen around. What kind of drills do you use to push the aim? Hold on, there was another one before that. I'm still debating between micro diameters, Maximas, and line cutters, 23s for indoors. Lots of shooting to decide. Yeah, Matt, this is a good option. You can, oh, by the way, Pete the shirt. You gotta love it. Go get yourself one at barebowproject.com. The RZs are without a doubt the most forgiving arrow. Now that I'm shooting for Easton, I'm obviously not going to use those. But I will say that I really do like the Maxim or the SD micros, and I may go with some either the 23s and try those. I think the reason I'm committed to the SD micros is because I know that skinnier arrow is more forgiving. I don't feel like I'm at a place where I'm going to benefit from shooting those 23s. Grayson, shoots 23s incredible. He's super consistent. John's back and forth when he's shooting. When he bangs and he's on, like, he can shoot those 23s at a 3-spot all day and just hammer 285, 290, like it's nothing. I'm not there. So, and I'm being honest with myself. I'm not there. I've watched way too many people. John Dillinger never shot 23s. He was always shooting BAPs, B1s, and that dude had probably one of the most prolific barebow years, winning Lancaster, winning Vegas, with skinny arrows. Mike Fisher, he's another one. So is there benefit to it? If you are that super, super consistent, I've never seen Fish or Mick or Dilly shoot 290 halves. I've seen John shoot them, and I've seen him shoot them with 23s. There's nobody that's more consistent than Demmer, except for Grayson when he freaking shoots. But he's a loser. So I'm being honest with myself about where I'm at with my shooting and what results I want to work on, and I want the forgiveness at the target, because with 23s you just don't get that. So that's just my opinion. I'm not saying you do you, but unless you're constantly pushing 280 plus, I don't think 23s are really going to be a huge benefit. What kind of drills do you use to push the aim? Klaus, I haven't come up. I'll tell you what drill would be good is the best drill. That would be good for it. But I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm doing less drills because I'm kind of at that point. Like, my release is pretty good. My bow arm's pretty good. I'm just focusing, like, when I'm shooting 6 arrows or more. Gold game would be a good drill to work on pushing the aim, but it's really just shooting practice, and that's all you're focused on each arrow during practice. You're not worried about score per se. You can keep score. Like, I'm a fan of shooting 6 arrow ends for indoors, and like just taking pictures of the target, moving on, and then score what you shot. Because that sort of teaches you to, like, you're scoring, but you're not worried about the score. And I kind of adopt the mental approach that, snap a photo, move on, worry about the shot. And that's the way I want my tournaments to be too. Do you know what I mean? So, you're training the mental process at the same time. Really just focusing on every arrow that gets to the middle. I am committed further into that aim. I want it to settle. I want to teach myself to let that point settle somewhere in the gold and stay in the gold. A lot of people don't do that, myself included. During qualifications this year and during the U.S. Open at Target Nationals this year, I struggled with that. I had about a week and a half of like legitimate. My tune wasn't great too. I had some tuning issues, but you know, it is what it is. That's my fault. I didn't shoot much last year. My aim was great. It showed, but I had like a month and a half of preparation. So you know, I got the results that I deserved. Yeah, it is what it is. So I think it's just a matter of when you go to practice. And the other thing is the timing of an indoor shot versus the timing and the follow through of an outdoor shot aren't quite the same for me. And I don't know if that's natural and that's across the board for everyone, or if it's just like I make that up, that indoor shot is a little bit more choppy. It's the only way I can explain it. And I got to experiment with that too, because I want everything about the shot to be calm. Everything. So that's what I'm working on. When's the last time you used a fish on chip? Hold on. No, I don't want to create a poll. You IBO range next year. Are we going to see you on the IBO ASA range next year? Matt, I don't know. I like shooting compound with a scope and long stabilizers for 3D. I'm not going to lie. I don't love Barebow 3D archery. I've shot it one time. Shot against a very good former world champion IBO shooter. Got me by 1 point. And I didn't love it. Any of it. So, maybe. If, Hoyt said they would love to see me shoot a compound in ASA. Might do that. I don't know. I can't. That's too far. It's too far ahead. We'll see. We'll see what the year provides. I have bigger fish to fry over this next year. That includes when board positions open up with USA Archery, running for it. I'm putting you all on notice. Keep your USA Archery memberships because you get a vote and we're going to need your vote. So make sure that I'm putting you all notice. I'm not going to talk down ever. I'm not happy with some of the stuff that goes on with USA Archery. But I can't, and this is off topic, but whatever. I can't complain if I'm not willing to step up. So I am willing to step up and occupy a board position, or at least run for a board position. I don't get it. But it's time that Barebow has. We've done a lot. We've stepped up in many ways, including the sponsors for the U.S. Open and providing our own awards and stuff like that. But like, we need to have a voice on the inside. So unless somebody else wants to do it, that has the motivation, and I will support you 100%. Jesus, it sounds like a campaign. It kind of is. But all of you, I need you to keep your USA Archery memberships. Watch for when the board positions open up, because I'm going to run for it, and you need to vote. So that's the way that works. So Matt, to give you a complete honest answer, I'm going to say I doubt it. If you do, it probably would be with a compound, so I could shoot, because my son shoots compound. But you never know. You never know. Unless Hoyt says, no, I want you to go with, say, there's a new riser, you never know what kind of stuff happens. So if they say that, then yeah, I would shoot Barebow for that purpose. There was another question before yours. What's your hair routine? Dollar Shave Club shave gel, and once every 3 days. This was just done last night, so it's pretty glamorous right now. Robbie, I know you're jealous. Yeah, so it's pretty good. And I'm nice and tan from the beach, so you know, gotta represent the bald people. Let's see here. Let me see. Fat Shaft's definitely harder to find a good tune. From Elton, you are correct. I couldn't agree more. Let me go back through. Sorry. Oh, did it again. Grrr. Let's see here. I'm not used to doing it on my phone. I usually do it on my computer, and I just wasn't set up for it. Santo says, I found it much easier to settle and aim with a skinny shaft. Santo, I think I agree. We'll see. The other thing I'm going to play around with is aiming 6 o'clock again, too. I shot my best scores shooting 6 o'clock, hold. I don't know why. I don't have a reason. But I'm going to give it a go. We'll see. I don't know. I'm going to play with that moving forward. Oh my gosh. I'll be editing all of those little screen switches out. Let's see here. Don't be afraid to try. It's a good experience to have under your belt or refine your tuning capabilities. I don't know who that was toward, Elton, if that was me or not. Indoors on a crowded line often makes me feel like my shot has been more compartmentalized. Shooting indoors on a crowded line, well, your shot should be compartmentalized all the time. Matt, this is for Matt Reisman. The issue that most shooters have is that it's so easy to shoot really good, like way into your subconscious. It's really easy to do that in practice, especially in Barebow. When we don't have any distractions, when we're in practice, you're at your local range, whatever. But the problem is that we practice in the subconscious, and then we get to a tournament, and we have all of those external motivators. And if you are affected by scoring clocks, people next to you, cameras, photographers, the shutter on a camera, loud noises, music, all that stuff, and you're not used to that when you're shooting in the subconscious all the time, you get it, like it amps you up, like to a point where like you don't really feel your hook. You know, when I shoot alone, I really feel my hook. When I'm shooting in, you know, head-to-heads, or like, I don't feel my hook as much, because even though I may appear to be calm, and for the most part, I don't really get like really amped up or nervous anymore, but I still don't have the same level of you know, physical awareness that I do when I'm shooting alone, because I'm alone, you know. And so, you know, that's the benefit of, like, you should compartmentalize the shot in many ways. I definitely find myself I float back and forth, as Larry Wise puts it in his book. There's mind manage, which is sort of your conscious, and then there's body feel. I definitely float back and forth between those all the way through the shot until I get to the aim, and I really try to lean more toward like a mind managed aim, which keeps me relaxed. I don't know how. It's not a conscious thing. It's just, you just have to learn to allow yourself to go back and forth throughout the shot. It's just very hard to do. It's very hard to do. Nate Wallace, I don't shoot 3D anymore because I don't like buying arrows. I mean, I don't know what to say, man. You can just buy some like gold-tipped warriors and just beat the crap out of those if you want. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I just don't love 3D. I don't love one arrow or two arrows, depending on the format, at 30 yards or less. I'm not. There's the guys, the Dwayne Martins and you know, and Demmer and some of these guys that shoot 3D that are that are just lights out. Daniel Collins is a really good 3D shooter. Matt Durker's a really good 3D shooter. You know, it's nothing but respect. No matter what I throw a lot of shade at IBO, and it's a joke. Please don't be offended. But you know, I don't love it. I love field. Shot field for the first time this year, and I definitely plan on shooting more field next year. I think field archery, like if I had to tier level of difficulty, I would put field archery absolute number one as far as the most difficult barebow format out there. Number two, I would probably put 50 meters because of the external factors and the need for a good tune. Then number three would be indoor, and then it would be 3D. Indoor, you can get away with a shitty tune and still shoot decent scores. You can shoot drive-bys and still get a decent score. 50 meters, it's very difficult to shoot like straight up drive-bys for 72 arrows, 144 arrows, and shoot a good score. You do it for a short time. Sooner or later, you short circuit, and like you shoot a low group or high group, or you know. So, and then it would be 3D, and it's not. I don't want to take away from the difficulty of 3D judging yardage and you know and stuff like that. It's just a matter of you're shooting one arrow. You will only have to concentrate on one arrow, and that's a lot easier than having to concentrate on 3 or 6. So that's just my opinion. I'm not knocking anyone. I'm just saying that's how I feel about it. Matt said, I meant more that I need to have conscious awareness of the transition between setup and draw when there's people right next to me and have to fit into less space. I see outdoors with at least 3 feet of space. That part is more fluid and less choppy, as you said. I tell you that I see a lot of people, Matt, who try to do the whole NTS thing, shooting barebow indoors, and that by nature takes up a lot of space because of all of the swinging and all this other stuff. And to be completely honest with you, a lot of people do it wrong, and they make it more pronounced in this big, huge coiling thing and all this other stuff. And that's just one other reason that I don't think that NTS is the best move for barebow. But I don't know if you're shooting NTS, so please, I'm not making. Maybe I'm making that assumption. I apologize if you don't, but I see that a lot too, and that makes it your form doesn't need to be that way. But yeah, I think it's a good point. Definitely less space, a little bit more choppy. I love Chris Garcia. I love shooting Safari 3D, but full distance stakes 30 and under is boring. Chris, I could see that. Yeah, I could definitely see where Safari. We don't have Safari on East Coast. God, I wish we did though. And my club, I don't have the means to be able to do a true Safari course. It would be fun though, and I can't imagine the amount of money that it would cost. I just don't have it. Maybe down the road we can bring a Safari course to the East Coast. That would be amazing. But again, I think my focus next year is definitely going to be more field. I'm going to go indoor, and continue to, and then go right into field and just focus on field. Favorite round for sure. Hardware with the CX. Dwayne says he's won a lot. Dwayne's won a lot of hardware with the Carbon Express 23. He sure has. But for 3D purposes, again, it's max 30 yards, 33 yards. You know, and indoor, it'll work. Dwayne is a consistent shooter. He's a good aimer. Static release, like I talked about. You know, very static-ish release. But the dude's just been doing it forever. He's got probably 3 times. What? I'm guessing Dwayne's been shooting Barebow for probably 20 years, maybe 15 years. I don't know. I'm not sure. I forget, but he should be that good. He's constantly worked on it and has proven that his way of shooting 100% works. And may not work for everyone, but it works for Dwayne. And it's a good. Doesn't matter whether he's shooting 23s or shooting skinny arrows. He's gonna shoot them good. He's kind of like like a Levi Morgan per se. Doesn't matter what bow or arrow or company he shoots for, he's still gonna make it work. I think that's it. I'm almost done my coffee here. Got one more swig. So if you have any questions, comments posted up, because this is about ready to be kicked, and I'm gonna kill this live feed. Remember, check out BareboWproject.com. The shooter shirts, the pink, orange, blue, the red, white, and blue, they're all there. Working on a situation, hopefully, fingers crossed, where those are going to be available in another avenue here soon. We'll still do the custom ones with all of the logos and stuff for people. Make sure you check out if you need custom t-shirts. My wife Sarah is the mastermind behind all of those. She does an amazing job. Make those available. And if you appreciate what we at the Barebow Project are trying to do for Barebow, the coverage, the pictures, you want to see more of that stuff, please consider joining the Patreon page. If it's $1 a week, $5 a week, $20 a week, I spend more money on coffee than most people. So I look at it that way. Like, if you appreciate what's being done, consider just signing up and checking out. After 3 months, you get a free t-shirt and stuff like that. So, consider that level of support. And again, don't forget all of our sponsors. Oh, hold on. Got a notice there. Don't forget all of our sponsors that supported us through the open, and of course our podcast sponsors as well. But podcast sponsors get their links in every podcast and stuff. But you got Jager Archery Products, Yost Archery Products, and Ethics Archery, all who are podcast sponsors, also ponied up money for the U.S. Open. And then you have John and Leslie Winker from First Flight Archery, who absolutely positively knocked it out of the park with their contribution, and they wanted to donate more, and I said, no, save that for future tournaments. We did enough. So I'm not going to elaborate more on future tournaments yet, but they absolutely went way over where they needed to be. And their First Flight Archery down in North Carolina, Raleigh. If you're in Raleigh, you're near Raleigh, support them. Go call them, buy a t-shirt from them. Whatever you got to do. They have a huge indoor range now. They have a beautiful facility. Go support them. Then you have BowDoc Archery, Jeff Sanchez, the coach, the bow shop where Chrissy Lyons works. He was a huge contributor. ProLine Archery, Joe McGlynn up in Queens in New York City, huge contributor. And then, we had others. We had Santo, we had Peter Nugent. He did through his dentistry out there, and I think he's in Vegas. First Bite Pediatric, I think it is, dentistry. We had Larry Wise, and list is on my phone, and my phone is covering the live feed. I'm trying to think if I have to bring the checks in. I think they're still in my Jeep. But yeah, so support those people. Larry Wise, go buy his book. Go to LarryWise.com, buy his book. You can buy them through Lancaster Archery Supply. Again, we have some amazing people in Barebow. We have some amazing companies, smaller companies, and that's where this came to play. USA Archery, their setup X amount of money, and you can be a sponsor. But Barebow doesn't have enough companies to just start throwing all that money. It's just not there. And that's where you guys have to realize, like, support the companies and the programs, the Barebow Project. Support the people who are really trying to bolster everything that's going on in Barebow as much as you can. And then, I don't, there's also, guys like Dwayne and Calvin who have been supporting Barebow in their best capacity for a very long time as well. And a few others. So, not to take away from those people, support them as well. But, it's just understand that we are at a very good place right now, and we're going in a positive direction, but your continued support is going to be necessary to get there. We got a lot of positive press from the U.S. Open. We got a lot of positive press during the USA Archery annual, I don't remember what it's called, meeting or whatever, as well. Like, they can't not give us attention and a say, because we are heavily supporting them while they're losing in other areas. I'm talking about USA Archery right now. So, but you have to keep doing that. And it's going to be difficult. It's a community thing. It takes a village. And you guys are our village. And we're just trying to hopefully lead this thing in the right direction. So, anyways, thanks again. I got things I got to do, and I got to go to the gym. So, I'm going to keep working on pushing that aim. I hope you do the same, and we'll see you on the next episode. This will be uploaded sometime today, maybe tomorrow. I don't know, whenever. And I'm hoping to get with Matt Yaka here very soon, and we're gonna do a podcast that you all want to listen to, and it's gonna be about the preventable mistakes, the things that we should be doing every time, every tournament, stuff like that. So I don't know what it's gonna be called yet, but Matt Yaka touched upon a little bit in the live feed, the bronze medal match. Check that out. But we're gonna have a formal podcast about it. All right.